is Wrap the News. Today we're going to be talking about doing things based on an outwardly appearance. And so what we have here is this woman who was trapped in an elevator, and basically she got supposedly delivered by this fireman to the right. She immediately became carnal and started being sexually attracted to the man. And then she put out this plea to date this man, right? Backwards, because the woman was made for the man. It is the man who chooses, and this is just according to if you want to follow God or not. A lot of people don't want to follow God, and they want to do it their own way, and they wonder why 90% of marriages end in divorce. This is why. So when someone tells you the right way to do it, you don't respect that way. But I'm going to tell you the right way to do it. The man comes search you out. And you, as a female, say yay or nay. That's it. And when you pick a man, you are picking a partner for life. You know? So it can't be based off of lust. So God tells us to search the spirit and see if it's from God or not, and to check the fruit. The fruit ain't how big his wallet size is or his penis. That's not the fruit that he's telling you to check for. He's trying to tell you to check for things that is good, like good happening to him, like he ain't cursed, like his car didn't just catch fire, his house just catch fire, he got 4 babies by 4 different women somewhere else. Check the fruit before you lie down with a man, before you offer your hand in marriage to a man, and everything else. Check the fruit and the spirit to see if they're from God. If they coming from God, are they chasing you down? So if he checking her fruit, what is it? You can look at what her doctor's uniform that she got on, right? Because she's supposed to be a dentist, right? Well, if she bend over, her boobs is going to show. The fruit ain't good. She got on what looks to be a weave to the picture to the right. That ain't good, you know. And to the left, she still got this strapless, this strap, a whore uniform on. That ain't good. So not only is she dressed kind of sleazy, despite what she has on, but she's chasing you down carnally. So what happens when she find a bigger and better deal? Then she gonna sell you down the river. That's what's gonna happen. She gonna get angry at you. She gonna keep finding fault with you, cause she trying to get to, because that's what she does. It's her disposition. She following the lust of her heart. See, and so it says 1 Peter 3, number 3. Your beauty should not come from outward adornment, and that's what both of them is guilty of right now, such as braided hair, gold, jewelry, and fine clothing. You're trying to dress the part and look the part. You're trying to look sexy. All those people sow and reap of the flesh, says God. Your beauty should come from your inner disposition of your heart. And so we do things by the disposition of our heart. This is what the Most High God is telling us. What did that mean? That if you go do something gay, it ain't a mistake, it's you're gay. If you go out and murder somebody purposely, it ain't a mistake, you're a murderer. If you go out and rape somebody, it ain't a mistake, you're a rapist. If you go out and draw a big old fine picture, you're either a graffiti artist or you're an artist. You know? You do things based on your disposition. Right? And her disposition already, she got on sluttery clothes, her teeth is all shined up, she keeping herself skinny to date, or she can't gain weight because she's drinking, because in the next picture she invited him to drinks. So it's like 3 strikes you're out. One, you base things on a carnal disposition. Next, your clothing don't look right. And third, you're saying, come have drinks with me. Drinks are on me. I bet they are. You know, like when you old, you get elderly. You know, you don't make the mistakes of dating her whatsoever, because the Bible said her pathways leads to hell. You end up choking her out when she go to the next man. Matthew 7, number 7. Ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be open. It sounds good, but God is talking about evil as well. Maybe evil even first. Because if you wearing sluttery, look, sow and you shall reap. So it was a man, and I'm pretty sure some of you have heard of this. He was going to the gym. And what was he doing? He was gazing upon women working out in the gym. When the women would go out, he would put a knife up to them or a gun up to their head and then force them to get in his car, take them somewhere, and rape them. Why did he do that? Because that's what they sold. What is they working on their body for? They working on their body so they can get a man's attention. Well, God gave them a man's attention. That's what you wanted. Or you want to get a woman's attention. That's what you wanted. So you got it. You know, and it's for evil. He said you're going to reap of the flesh. God ain't telling you to put on whore clothes and look sexy. The devil is. All of that is from the devil. We got to stop. If he told you don't go by outwardly adornment, then you in sin if that's what you're doing. Then you're going against the Most High God. So anyway, if you're working on your body so you can attract men and women, well, you attracted them, but you always go. Like, who looks at your body and wants you? A sex addict, right? And then what they gonna do to the next person when they want their body? If he chose you based on how your body looks, exactly, then it's 50,000 more people or 50 million more people who probably look better than you. And so that's a hard, tough world to live in. So we don't choose based off of the body and the outward appearance. We choose based off of the intention of the heart and the willingness to obey the Most High God. So the person who is most willing to serve the Most High God, they ain't going to be sluttish. However you say that. Let's keep going. Well, if you work on your body and go out with whole clothing on, what are you seeking and what will you find? Disposition, definition. A person's inherent nature or character. So if you keep looking for sexual beauty, what does it say about you? Answer. You are telling God you want a no good hoe. That's what you. So you knocked. You sought after something and you're gonna find it. Hide and seek, huh? 2 Corinthians 6:14. Be you not unequally together with unbelievers. For what fellowship has righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion have light with darkness? So let's say she's the no good harlot, and he's just some respectable fireman out trying to do his duty for mankind. He would never be with her because she's basing everything off carnal, and he will be basing everything off the righteousness of God. And so the verse is saying that they will be unequally yoked. But if he basing everything off of his look, his dress code, and everything else, to be what? Seen of men. To be seen of men. Then he just like her, and they deserve each other. And God will, he put equally to equally. They both deserve each other. And then they're going to be miserable in the end because both of them are two gods looking to be worshipped. That's what you're working on your body for, so somebody can worship you, right? That's why you're working on your six-pack, so somebody can worship you, right? Somebody who did these things should know what people are doing. That's why I worked out, right? Now I have to just work out for my own health. It ain't for to be seen of men, and nothing that you should be doing is for men. Everything that you do should be for the Most High God. So again, if you're a moral person, you should not be with an immoral person. It's a lot of people say, she's a good girl, but she with that dog. That's because she a dog. You wouldn't. Why are you unequally yoked with a dog if you ain't a dog? Why you birds of a feather is gonna flock together, right? We got to wake up to this, folks. 2 Corinthians 9:6. Remember this: whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly. And whoever sows generously will also reap generously. You get what you put in. If you give a lot, you're gonna get a lot. If you give a little, you're gonna give a little. You're gonna get a little. So that goes with charity. If you give to sow to God's kingdom, then God is going to generously give to you if you give generously. If you just give a dime or two, that's all you're going to get out of life. You know, the same thing is with your relationship. If you only put a little bit of effort into your relationship, that's why it's going wrong. The same thing is with the grass on your lawn. You know, if you don't water it, it's going to turn brown and die off. If you give it plenty of water, it's going to be green and look nice for you. The grass is greenest where you water it at, folks. It ain't in somebody else's backyard. If you're looking to make something good, you can only have what you earn in the eyesight of the Most High God. As you sow, that shall you reap. You get what you put in. You got to work for it. Don't let somebody tell you it's by faith or by grace. No, when your works is going to be judged in the end, that don't make sense. That's a false doctrine. Because that's what the fire is going to be judging your works. That's what God is going to be judging your works. Then it wasn't by grace. Paul lied to you. James 1:14. Each one is tempted by his own evil desires. Again, each one is tempted by their own evil desires. He didn't say it was good to be tempted. She is a temptress. She's tempting him. You know, and he's tempting her. Right? Now, whether he tempting her on purpose or not, we don't know. But here's the thing, woman. If you looked at him and you found him to be some sexual delight for you, and he didn't even look back at you, and he's a 30-year-old man look like, he don't want you. He already spoke loud and clear. When a man wants you, he going after you. He gonna get your number. He looking back at you as long as you looking at him. That's how that go. So basically, if he ain't looking at you and he walk past you, maybe he ain't interested in women. He already told you something about himself. So let's keep going. Each one is tempted by his own evil desires. He is lured away and enticed. Lured away from what? God. 1 Samuel 16:7. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not at his countenance, or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him, which means rejected him. For the Lord seeth not as a man seeth, for man look towards the outward appearance of people, but the Lord looks on the heart. Man is looking at the wallet. Man is looking at, can he come up or not? You know. Women is looking for, what can they get out of the bedroom? You basing your relationship on what he gonna bring to the bedroom. What happens when he get limp or something happens to him? Then you're gonna jump to the next man because he can no longer perform. What happened when somebody comes with a bigger and better deal than him? Then he gonna get left. He was good for the while. He was a donkey, but you looking for a horse. That always happens, and I have to ask myself questions. Why do women leave these men if they're supposed to be putting it down in the bed? Why do the women still leave you? If you're supposed to be putting it down in the bed, why do women leave you? Because maybe they need something else besides that. If women go for women, then maybe it ain't all about that all the time. You know, maybe you are being deceived by Satan, and he putting false desires inside your brain to tell you you need these sick things. You gonna go to God and tell him that you need that? Oh, Most High, give it to me long and strong like I need it. You're gonna be going straight to hell. We're gonna find out. Proverbs 7:24. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not your heart decline to her ways. Let not your heart decline to her ways. What's her ways? It's whorish. Don't buy that. That's what it's saying. For she has cast down many wounded. Yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell. All whores go to hell. All homosexuals go to hell. All sinners and liars go to hell. Everybody living a lie and believing on a lie and telling a lie is all going to burn in the lake of fire, and her chambers go down to death. Galatians 6:7. Do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. You can only get what you earn. You only get what you put in. You put in a little, you're going to get out. If you're doing it sparingly, like it says, you're going to get sparingly out. It is a balance system, folks. If you started your relationship all carnal, that's how it's going to end. Somebody going to cheat on you for a bigger and better deal. Psalm 7:16. His mischief shall return upon his own head. So if God is telling you to check the spirit and check the fruit, and you checking how big his wallet and his penis is, then that mischief is going to come back onto you. Same thing, make you laugh, make you cry. You know that. Matthew 15:19. For out of the heart comes evil thoughts, adultery, and sexual immorality. So, again, we talking about the heart again. What do we talk about the heart up there? It is, you got to see what is the disposition of this person's heart. Basically, your actions is based off the disposition of your heart. So that means you do things according to your desires. Right? So if your desire is not towards God, which God said love him with all your heart, mind, and soul, and then your desire is to love a man with all your heart, mind, and soul, this is why people is worshiping Jesus. This is why people are worshiping men. This is why people are worshiping the devils. Because your heart ain't loving God like it should. 1 Corinthians 10:13. There has no temptation taken you, but such is common to men. So I mean that if people before you have been through this. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that which you are able. But with all the temptation, he will also make a way for you to escape. So basically, when she's coming at you strong, you leave strong. You don't have to give in to her. Ezekiel 23:16. At the sight of them, she lusted them and sent messengers to them in Chaldea. That's exactly what she did. So just like I said, same temptation those men was facing back then, same temptation he and other people was facing today. I'm going to run. I'm running. I ain't going for this. Just like I said, if I got a wife at home and she doing me well, I'm good. You know, if she obeying the Most High, I'm good. I didn't want her to do nothing but, just like you, I don't want y'all to do nothing but worship and serve the Most High God alone like he asked you to do. And stop associating things with him when he said his name is good alone and he alone, and there is none beside him, and he is your Savior. Then stop worshiping idols. Do you know that that's what she made him into, an idol? And guess what's going to happen? He ain't going to be able to live up to be a god like she wanted him to be. Neither is she. If he looking at her the same way, which is ill, she, the same thing. She ain't the goddess that he going to think she is. She ain't going to live up to that. As soon as you say something wrong or foul, you disappointed already. Right? So at the sight of him, she lusted and then sent messengers. And guess what? Inside Edition has responded, and they went and found him, because they're going to help you sin. And send out that invitation. Genesis 39:7. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph and said, lie with me, come screw me. Right? And so it's telling you about these women that upon sight, they got you in their sights. Right? For some mischief. Does she want you to go to church with her? She want to read the Bible with you? Wow, she invited you to drinks, because you know what happened after drinks, don't you? Your inhibitions, you're going to go crazy, right? Lie with me, that's where she at. Exodus 20:17. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife or house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his manservant, or his maiden, or his ox, or his donkey, or anything that belongs to another damn man. You can't covet it. God said you're going to get what you earn. You get what you sow. Right? You got to put it in there to get it. You got to work to eat. All right. You can only get what you put in. If you put in a little, that's all you're gonna get is a little out of it. You know. Matthew, but don't want what somebody else have. That's what he's saying. Work for your own shit. 5:28. But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman to lust after her have already committed adultery with her in his heart. And it's called a fornication, adultery of the eye. If your right eye causes you to sin, gouge it out. Why? Because it's better to lose that damn eye than to be in hell with both eyes. Lust definition: a sensual appetite and passionate or very strong sexual desire. What is sensual? Sensual definition is carnally, fleshly, sexual pleasure. So she is in lust and sensuality, and God said these people go to hell because that's where she heading, and she seduced him. That's where he heading. Job 31, number 1. I have made a covenant with my eyes. Then says Job, how then could I gaze with desire at a virgin when we supposed to be as men looking for purity, not to see if we can crack open a virgin? Who get that? And so when I did the thing on polygamy, right? A lot of people got mad at that. A lot of women got mad at that. A lot of men got mad. You ain't gonna make none of them happy, because each one of them just want to follow their own desires. They don't want to listen to God. Proverbs 6:25. Do not lust in your heart for her beauty, or let her captivate you with her eyes. Do not. Again, so Job is making a covenant with his eyes so he won't be captivated in lust for a virgin, right? Because it says this, the men of Israel, that's what it said, you cannot marry a whore. What is a whore? A woman sleeping with more than one man. She's a whore, right? It also said you can't marry somebody else's wife. If she married him, that's his. And so on and so forth, where it tell you who you can't marry. So you can't marry a Gentile woman. It tell you that straight up. So a lot of people just breaking the rules and then striking my account for telling the truth. You know, and that's what happens. So anyway, you can't marry a whore, and that's why he's saying virgin up here, right? Anyway, wherefore 1 Peter 1:13, gird up the loins of your mind before you, and that way you can gird up the loins of your behind. So what is God saying? Gird your loins, period. So he told them men to put on certain things to guard their privates, so the women don't be sizing them up, and these days so the men don't be sizing them up. But he also tell the women to cover up and cover their heads up and don't make, their beauty apparent. It says your beauty should not be what? Outwardly, right? Your booty. Your beauty, that's the devil right there, come from outward adornment, right? You shouldn't be braiding your hair, doing your nails and all that, spending $400, $500 a session at the damn boutique for your hair. Come on. You a savage. You should not be doing that. For who? For what? I'm doing it for myself because I love myself. That's vanity. God said one day you're going to be burned bald on the mountain crying and yelling for help. Wait till that day come. Tell me about your hair then. God said 7 women going to be clinging to one man in that day. Tell me about that day then. All your vanity and your pride going to go away. Again, this is a no, children of Israel. This is a hell to the damn no. This is to be seen of men. This is sexuality. This is everything that's wrong with us today. This ain't gonna turn out right. We check the fruit and the spirit to see if it's from God. We ain't checking it to see if we can get it in the sack. This is Rap the News.